Hello, everybody. This is Mike from the Hey, Are You Still There podcast. My wife Beth and I would like to invite you to join us each week as we examine life at the intersection of marriage, family, careers, and ministry. Through 28 years of ministry, 26 years of marriage, 23 years of professional careers, and 21 years of being parents to 3 kids, our fun and honest discussions promise to have something for everyone. And now, on to the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hey, Are You Still There podcast. This is Mike.
And Beth.
And we're back.
Yes.
In the country.
Yes.
For those of you that missed it, we were out of the country last week to the country of Honduras. And specifically, where, Beth?
Roatan.
The island of Roatan.
Yes.
Which is part of Honduras.
Yes. But it feels like, which we talk about a lot on the podcast, if they want to listen to it, culturally, it's very distinct and different in many ways.
It is,
yes.
Yeah. So if you want to go back and listen, we had an awesome opportunity to interview our missionary friends, Brooke and Renee, and you can hear all about that on our last podcast.
And we served along with them, and you can hear about, like, a little bit about going on a short-term mission trip and what that's like.
Yeah. But now we're back.
Yes.
So you get to hear, we're back. You get to hear about going on a trip through marriage,
yes,
kids, careers, and ministry.
Yes.
That's our 4 pillars, right? It's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
It has been. So, yeah.
Like marriage, parenting, careers,
and ministry, yes.
Yeah.
I think I still have a little bit of jet lag.
Yes, me too.
On Saturday, when Beth led the team home to North Carolina, I got to fly to Orlando.
Yes.
I did. I left everybody. I flew into Orlando. Our daughter picked me up. We went, and she was done with her Disney college program, and we ended up spending the day at Epic Universe on Sunday. We drove to Savannah on Monday, spent the night in Savannah.
Because your wife got a great hotel on points for you.
Well, it was haunted.
Well, I didn't know that it was haunted
and
when I booked it.
The ghost kids almost killed me.
Well, that's what you think. But it was on the river.
It was on the river. And then and Maria and I made it home Tuesday.
Yes.
So
later.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
I think we're worn out. It's been a busy summer.
Yeah. And we're actually got a special treat for you guys in just a little bit. We're going to hear from Maria. She's going to make her podcast debut, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her experience working at Disney this summer. I keep calling it Star Wars Land, but it's really Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge.
She would probably get mad at me for saying Star Wars Land.
Star Wars Land.
And after her, we're going to hear from Jacob. And this is our son who spent the summer as an intern with the
National Audubon Society, but he was at Beadler Forest in South Carolina, which is like, it's kind of interesting, but that's, I think the Audubon Society may own a portion of that boardwalk and forest, but
so they definitely manage it.
Yes, where he got to do a lot of work with a lot of different types of birds.
Yeah, so 2 very different kids, 2 very different summer experiences, and we get to hear from them here in just a little bit. But Beth, it's been a couple of weeks. How's life?
Oh, it's been busy, very busy, but it's okay.
How? What's been going on? Give us some,
the mission
what's highlights of your life?
Like it's just been a lot as far as like getting everything ready and done too. So like Josh had to start school Wednesday, so we returned Saturday night very late. Well, actually, I think it was Sunday morning by the time I got home from our flight. And then we had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at home, and Josh had to go back to high school and start as a sophomore. So it was just getting things ready for him. And then we have 2 birthdays this month, your birthday and Jacob's birthday. So planning some activities around birthday celebrations.
In full disclosure, we're recording this on my actual birthday.
That's how committed Mike is. But it's interesting because this was part of your, quote, birthday dream, I guess, or what, right? The podcast?
It was the Big 12, yeah.
And so we have done... Okay, we're trying to figure out, is this our 51st or what is this?
All right, so this is either our 51st or 52nd episode.
And if it's 52nd, then that's like legendary because there's 52 weeks in a year. And then that means you've done a whole year.
A whole year's worth in less than a year.
Yeah.
And then, because we started this in October, right?
Yeah.
November, end of October, 1st of November, so it was around in there. But it could be 51. I think where
Which
it got
would
messed
also be
up.
cool because you are 51 today.
That would be incredible if
Yes.
everything synchronized like that.
Yes, that would be amazing.
I would be recording our 51st podcast on my 51st birthday.
Yeah, I think we should
We
just
couldn't
say
have
that's
planned
what it
it.
is.
Well, here's where I think the 52 gets thrown off.
Okay.
There was a podcast that we recorded that then you said, I don't want to post that after I had it set to post. Do you remember that?
No, but I can see me doing that.
And so I deleted it, but it kept it as far as numbered goes in the system.
But that doesn't count if it wasn't released to the general public.
I know, but we recorded one that wasn't.
But that doesn't count because what counts is what the people have heard. So this is number 51, which
All right,
is a
so then
huge
this
deal.
is 51.
So I think that listeners, I don't care if it's really late. You need to, if it's almost a year from now, wish Mike a happy birthday and congratulate him on making it to 51 on his 51st year on this
Totally
planet.
unplanned. We were just going about this
Well, we should have told everybody we were this cool and this smart and that we planned it. That would have been really impressive.
Or they would think that was psychotic.
Well, they would know better. Given the unedited nature of this podcast and the way everything's gone, I think they would know better than to think that we had actually
I had somebody
planned
ask us, do we edit this podcast? And I said, absolutely not.
Right.
And they thought that was crazy.
Why did they think we edit it? Does it sound edited?
They were like, you can't have a podcast with pauses or ums or things like that. And we have that.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes this podcast feel more real because it's a conversation between a husband and a wife.
Yes.
Just about life.
Which you may have to pause for a minute to collect your thoughts or what have you.
Yeah.
You may say from time to time.
Exactly. So if you want something really cleaned up, then
that would be a very scripted. And I think that's a different type of podcast. I mean, I've listened to those podcasts where somebody almost has everything written out and they're kind of reading it in a conversational tone. That's a different type of podcast.
Mm-hmm. But not this one.
No.
Any other highlights from your life over the last 2 weeks?
Well, the kids all being home very, very, very briefly, but they're all here.
For 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing to have everybody under one roof. So I'm really excited about that part. But it all ends tomorrow, so it doesn't last very long. And so I think that's our challenge, which we've talked about before. But everybody's schedule is so different. Nobody has breaks at the same time, college and high school and work schedule. None of that stuff lines up. And so it's just challenging.
Yeah, Jacob heads back to Appalachian State University for his senior year tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is Maria going anywhere? Can we?
No, Maria will be here with us right now, open for babysitting for anyone local and listening.
Living at home.
Living at home and then going to classes at UNC School of the Arts. And that's a whole long story because she did live on campus last year, but this year we had decided she would live off campus, but then none of her friends at school were approved to live off campus. So that made it impossible to get a roommate. But hopefully for her...
Which I threw out the idea of letting her and Josh have an apartment together.
That is ridiculous. And I didn't know you threw out that idea. Joshua is not even able to drive. He can't have an apartment with Maria.
Why?
Because he's too young. That's craziness.
He'll be 16 in January.
But he doesn't need to have an apartment. That would just not go well.
I just want them out of my house.
No, I don't. I love having them here. So I would have everybody move back in if I could. Gosh. That'd be my dream come true.
I would move out. Here. I would move out.
Oh, gosh.
They'd move in and I'd move back out.
So you're asking me about highlights. Do you have any deep thoughts of wisdom on your 51st birthday? Now that you've made it through the year 50?
Well, let's circle back to the Big 12.
Yes.
So Beth, for those of you who may be new to the program, back when Beth turned 50 last October, October 2024, she came up with this brilliant idea. She called it her Big 12. It was 12 things that she had never done in her first 50 years that she wanted to try to do this year.
Yes.
So, which is very ambitious because she had 50 years to do it and you never got it done. But now you want to try it and do it all. So you made a list and that inspired me. So I made a list. So my list is going to end on your birthday also.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just,
Yes.
because that's when I started it. I
Yes,
don't feel
that
like,
makes sense. Yeah.
if I finished it now, I'd be an overachiever and you'd
Oh,
feel
we
bad
don't
about
want
yourself.
that. That's
so
true.
I want the
Yeah.
full 12 months. So we
Yes.
haven't given very many updates on that recently,
Mhm.
but there will be updates.
Yes.
And we will touch base on this as we approach Beth's 51st
Mhm.
birthday and how we're doing with each other's Big 12. I'm probably not going to get all 12 of mine. I don't know if Beth will get all 12 of hers.
I don't think I will, because one of mine involved like winter sports, and unless we have some really early ski slope openings or something around.
Well, and I think you wanted to visit a state you had never been to.
Yeah, and I'm not going to get
I
a
don't know if
state.
that'll
I'm not going to
happen or
have that. So that's kind of sad. But I mean, I do think the one thing that has happened from it, and I don't know if this is the case for you, but it's made me say yes. I mean, I was kind of spontaneous and said yes to a lot of things anyway, but it's made me say yes to more things that I may not have said yes to. And it's made me like go actively seek out new things, like our love of pickleball. I don't know that I would have, if I didn't have this challenge. I mean, I might have eventually gotten around to doing pickleball lessons, but, I just kind of told you like, oh, I've signed us up. It was just like, I did it because we've got to do this. We have goals. And as far as spending more time, traveling or friends and stuff, I feel like I don't know if it's been that way with you, but I feel like it's made me more open to, not just open, I was already open to it, but made me like commit more to actually doing the things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think about it, much more intentional, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
Because I'm not somebody that has bucket list, but.
Well, and I think before you might have just done the old like, oh, well, I'll do that later. Just like if you have a weekend off and nobody's home, you're like, I'll do these 10 things, but, I'll do them later. And then you keep procrastinating. But like in this case, we wouldn't be, because we realize time is limited and we got to get it in.
Yeah. So highlights for me over the last couple of weeks since our last normal podcast. We did go on the mission trip last week. You can hear all about it. But for me personally, that was my 52nd mission trip. And that was one of my ministry goals.
Accomplishment.
I had 2 ministry goals as life progressed. Back when I was around, I don't know, somewhere in the high 20s of mission trips, someone asked me one time how many mission trips I'd been on, and I didn't even have a number. So I sat down and went back and figured it all up. And at that point, I was at like 28 or something like that. And so I decided then, I was like, I think I'd like to do 50. And then I'm like, no, actually, I want to do 52. So then I could say I spent a year of my life on the mission field. And I know there's missionaries who spend 50 years on the mission field, but I don't know of any other full-time pastors that have been able to do a year of their life on the mission field that spread out.
Right.
If you're out there, let me know. But I had 2 ministry goals as the ministry years went along. 52 mission trips and 30 years in full-time church ministry. And the 30 years will be May of 2026. And so I've knocked off 52 mission trips.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just need to make it 8 more months and I'll have my 30 years. And then I'm going to get a 30-52 tattoo.
That's okay. Are you really?
Yeah.
30?
Why not?
Okay. Just didn't know, because you've always said you were keeping whatever your tattoo's going to be secret.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah. I still need to get a tattoo. That's on my list before October.
Well, and I was looking, I don't even think I'm halfway to where you are, which I was trying to count really quickly.
It's not a competition.
I know, but I don't know if I was at 24 or 26 mission trips. But my first one was in 1998. So I was already out of college when I did my first mission trip. That's where our kids get a real leg up on us, because they may have done like 5 or 6 by the time they are out of high school, So, oh, I guess, and that would be another highlight for you. You got to go on 2 mission trips with Josh this summer.
Yeah, I did. I got to go on 2 mission. I did 3 mission trips this summer, and 2 of them were Josh.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat too, to be able to do that.
So 52nd mission trip was a big deal for me personally. I like that. Maria took me to Epic Universe.
Which is epic.
It is. That's Universal Studios in Florida. It's their new theme park. It was as advertised. I think it's the best theme park I've ever been to in my life. And nothing that I've experienced beats Nintendo Land.
Really?
It is unreal.
Well, I intentionally, when we went, because, I went with Maria for her birthday. Was so interesting, too, because you went super close to your birthday, and that's where we spent Maria's birthday on that actual day. And we intentionally didn't send many pictures or anything to you.
Yeah, I tried to stay away from spoilers.
Maria wanted it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
And
it was.
Yeah. And I think that we talked about that park. You and I like that it's kind of compact and you can get from. It's not that it's small.
Not spread out. Yeah,
it's
just not spread out. So you can get to everything. There's 4 very distinct lands, I guess is what you would call them. The Nintendo land was unbelievable. They have one that's like Universal Monsters, which is like Frankenstein and Dracula and that type. That's unbelievable. The other 2 were very well done.
The Harry Potter.
I just didn't care, as much. The Harry Potter and the How to Train Your Dragon.
I wanted to spend more time in the Harry Potter, not just for the ride, but because it's set up like France. And so the little cafes, quote, people can't see me do my air quotes, but the French cafes, it looks a lot like Paris, with the little.
And why is that? Well, is it because the tables sit outside and you can sit right by the street?
And the way you can turn.
Yeah.
Why are you saying it that way?
Because that's exactly what me and Maria said.
Oh.
We walked in there and Maria said, Mom loved this little French cafe because she said it was just like Paris where you could sit on the street. And I was like, that's Mom. She loves these little cafes where you can just
and like
sit and drink your coffee.
Yeah. And like just sit and drink your coffee.
It's fun. So I think it's funny that you highlighted that out of everything at Epic Universe. It is a make-believe Paris cafe, yes. France, where you can sit and eat an overpriced bagel.
Yes, exactly. But I didn't get to do that because we were time crunched. And then the How to Train Your Dragon, I vaguely remembered those movies, but it just looks really cool.
I told Maria, outside of a movie trailer, I have never seen a How to Train Your Dragon.
That's kind of crazy.
That meant nothing. I mean, it was phenomenal looking, and the rides were cool, but there was nothing that like stirred up emotions within me. There was nothing like
because you're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I remember this scene or whatever.
I owned an NES, like the original Nintendo, when I was in middle school. So I mean,
that's a very nostalgic
so Nintendo
thing.
Has been a part of my life since then. And the monsters, like I remember growing up, our local TV station, you just had over-the-air antenna, but every Saturday they would have like Monster Matinee or something, and they would show Dracula and Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon and all these other just totally random horror movies, and I would watch them. Every Saturday afternoon, I would sit there and watch this Monster Matinee because there was nothing else to watch, and it was Saturday, and
I just like that
Saturday morning cartoons are over, and so it's like, I mean, so I would watch that, and so that was very nostalgic. The other 2 were incredible, but Epic Universe is. I would say if you're going down to Orlando and you're trying to decide between the 3 Universal parks,
oh gosh, Epic by
go
far.
to Epic. It's hands down the best.
The other 2 we talked about, they just feel kind of dated, and outside of probably the Harry Potter worlds, they just. I mean, it's not that they're bad, but I think that's part of the problem, that once you go to Epic, it kind of ruins you as far as going back to any of those parks.
And Maria and I thought everybody at Epic that worked there and just the customers there were much friendlier.
Yeah, it just seemed like
and we figured out why.
Oh.
You go to Disney, half the park is little kids being drugged around by their parents, tired and crying and screaming. Mm-hmm. The parents are cranky. So you're just dealing with a bunch of cranky kids and parents.
Yeah.
A quarter of the park, if that's half, a quarter of the park are people riding around in those little scooters.
Yeah.
That may not necessarily have a normal disability. They wouldn't use a scooter any other time in their life, but that's a lot of walking.
You're talking 10
or 11 miles. Yes. So I'm not faulting people for being on a scooter, but for whatever reason, they're all over Disney.
There are a lot. They're more at Disney than you see because you don't see. I don't think do they even have them at Universal?
That's what Maria and I were saying.
Yeah, I don't
We
know.
were walking around and I was like, you know why everybody's happy? You're not having the Dodge scooters and you're not having to like deal with like screaming kids. Anyway.
Yeah. But then at Universal, it's a much more adult kind of crowd, you know?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's just a different vibe. I don't know.
No, it also helped at Epic. I don't think I even told you the story. I had a fan club.
Oh, you
did? I tell you that story?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and introduce Maria. Maria, say hello to the audience.
Hey guys.
Well, you sound like you're 5.
Hey guys.
You're 20. You're like, hey guys, I'm just a girl.
But she's a girl boss.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what Maria witnessed, and then I'll have to tell you the story.
Okay.
So Maria and I are writing The Curse of the Werewolf, correct?
Yes.
Curse of the Werewolf, which I loved. I thought it was a great ride. Maria had trashed it all the way up to that point.
No, that is not what happened. I said, okay, for whatever reason, it's just because that ride has such like a low rider capacity because like they only have one train going at a time and like it just doesn't hold that many people. So that ride like ends up being one of the longest wait times in the park, which like in my opinion, there's no reason that you should be waiting like an hour for that ride. It's very short and it's like not like it's anything like incredible like technology wise. I mean it's just a coaster. Like there's nothing like crazy about it. The theming, I mean it's fun, but like it isn't like it's this crazy immersion. Like it's fun. And I told Dad that. I said when I rode it the first time, we walked on. That was our very first ride at all of Epic. We didn't wait at all, and it was fun, but I would not wait an hour for it. And I stand by that even after my second time riding it. We didn't really wait for it. We waited like 10 minutes. And like it was fun for that short of a wait, but like I would not wait that long.
Are you on the payroll for Universal? Because it certainly sounds like the way you're defending this ride that you weren't really hyping up for me.
Because
you undersold it, Maria.
Because, okay, it's literally, I just think that they have much better rides at the park. Like, I think.
Well, it's not top 5 for me, but.
Well, what happened at the ride? I'm still missing the story here.
So I get off the ride, and all these teenagers, what are they doing?
They're all like, bye, Mike, bye, Mike, bye, Mike.
Why did
and
they
all
know
like
Mike?
Waving.
Why?
I don't.
She didn't know at the time.
Confused.
She was stunned.
Because they were all like 15, 16-year-olds. So I honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is I was like, are these people from work camp or something? Like, I was like, are they like campers that maybe he met one time and they just remember him? Like, I had no idea.
Yeah. So,
or is he a celebrity and this many people have seen, hey, are you still there? And they've seen his picture. Okay.
They thought it was Joe Rogan, to be fair.
Yes, probably. But they didn't. Yeah. Anyway, so what really happened?
So, I sit down. I'm in the very front car. Aren't I in the front car?
Yeah, we both were.
Yeah. So I sit down and I'm in the very, very front car, which only has 2 seats.
Yeah.
Because, okay, for context, also, we did single rider.
Yeah.
Because we,
so you two weren't together.
Time, yeah, because the wait time for that ride was like an hour. And I told him, I was like, that was the thing. I was like, it's a fun ride, but it is not worth an hour wait.
Okay,
and
so he's
then
on without you.
Yeah, so we did single rider. So I had gone before, and then he got on immediately after me, literally in like the same row, same car, whatever, but like was on the ride after me.
Got it. Uh-huh.
So I sit down, I'm in the front seat, and there's this guy sitting beside me. I mean, he's probably Maria's age. And he looks at me, he's like, hey, what's your name? I was like, I'm Mike. What's your name? And he says, I'm Malachi. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, nice to meet you, Malachi. I was like, that's a very biblical name.
Yeah.
And which he laughed at. Then he stuck out his hand and I shook his hand. Uh-huh. And then he was like, how long you been here? So I was like, all day. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what have you ridden? I was like, everything but, at that point, it was late in the day. I was like, everything but Donkey Kong. So he's like, yeah, same here. So we just started talking about stuff and he was just super friendly dude.
Yeah.
Well, he told me that he was with a group of like 11 or 12 people. It was like some people from his family and some friends of theirs and whatnot. I was like, all right, but he was single rider. I mean, he was, or at least he was by himself.
Right.
So the ride starts. Maria did not tell me this. So I found this part, which I'm glad she didn't. I thought it was fun. The cars spin around.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm facing the front, but then the next thing I know, my car is spinning around.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm face to face with like 2 other people.
Yeah.
Well, it happened to be 2 people that was in his group.
Right.
So then as soon as I turned, they're like, hey, Malachi. And he's like, hey. And they're like, what's your name?
And
I
you're
was like, I'm Mike. Hey, Mike. And then they're like, Mike, are you scared? I was like, no, I'm not scared. And then they're like, don't be scared, Mike. And then the people directly behind us that we were back to back to was like, who's Mike? And they're like, Mike's with Malachi. And they're like, hey, Mike. And I'm like, hey. So I created this fan base. So the whole time we're on the ride, all they're yelling is Mike stuff,
Yeah.
right? So then when we get off, they're like, Mike, wasn't that awesome? And they're high-fiving me. And Maria's like, what just happened? Like we were on this ride for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I just had that magnetic personality.
Oh,
People
yes,
are just
you do.
drawn
yeah,
to me.
they are. That's true.
So I rode that ride, got a fan club. I should have told them about, hey, are you still there?
You should have, because then they
Dang
probably
it.
listen.
They could have.
Yes.
But anyhow, so later on in the night, Maria and I are walking to go ride something, and they're in line to get ice
We're
cream.
going to do Stardust.
I'm not even paying attention. And all of a sudden I hear, hey, it's Mike. Hey, Mike. And I was like, hey. And they're like, we're getting ice cream. What are you doing? I was like, we're going to go ride this, you know. But it was fun.
Yeah.
You know?
And maybe that helps you have even more positive association with that ride because you were such a star.
Now, I didn't want to make this an epic universe, I guess, review. But Maria, do you have anything you want to throw in about Epic? You're the expert.
I completely agree. I think it is the most impressive and visually prettiest theme park I've ever been to. That being said, whenever I say that, people are always like, oh, well, it's nothing compared to Tokyo Disney. And I have not been to Tokyo Disney, so I can't speak on that. But out of all the Disney parks in America, the Universal parks in Florida, Busch Gardens, Carowinds, like any theme park I've been to, Dollywood, whatever, Disneyland Paris, all of that, this is by far the best. I think it's the most immersive theme park. I think it's like the prettiest. I think the rides are the most impressive. I think it's very different from any theme park. I love that park. And I think like a lot of the hate that it gets that I see online, because it's very like split. And this is what Mom was pointing out too. When she was like, because we went for my birthday in June. And then that was like the first time I went. And then when I went with my dad, that was the second time. But when we went for my birthday in June, Mom was like all like watching all the Facebook groups and was all stressed because like there was such like
It don't sound like your mom getting stressed.
Yeah, I know.
Reading randoms on Facebook
I know,
and
right?
thinking that the world's coming to an end.
No,
I
I just
know.
wanted her to enjoy her birthday.
And like, yeah, but there's very split reviews for this park. If you look, it's either people talking about how much they hate it and it was a waste of money, and then people talking about how it is the best park. The only reasons that people don't like it is because they complain that the park is small, which they are not talking about attraction-wise, because there is plenty of attractions there.
There's at least a dozen rides, if not more.
I think I want to say it's like 13 rides.
Because
And
we
then
counted, it's the same amount of rides. People
it's
said there's not enough rides, but
there's
it's more
to
rides.
do. There's more to do right now than at Hollywood Studios, than at Animal Kingdom,
Right.
because so much is closed there right now. There's
Right.
more to do at this park than those. And there's also multiple shows. There's a ton of character meet and greets. There is so much to do at this park. And so like, it's not, they're talking about that, but they're
And we
talking
met
about,
Princess Peach.
Oh, we did. That was pretty magical.
Nice.
Look, Beth, she hit on me. I'm just going to tell
I'm
you.
sure she did. You've got
No.
that magnetic personality.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's plenty to do. People are complaining though because they're like, oh, it's itty bitty and blah 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 blah. I love that about the park, because then if you're in one side of the park and you're like, oh wait, this ride like at like Isle of Burke has a really low wait, let's go ride that. You're not walking like miles and miles to go get to that ride. Like you're not having to like go super far for it. But like, so I honestly like that it's smaller, and also it's like they still have room to expand. And I feel like people also are forgetting like,
We were there from 9 a.m. essentially when the doors opened.
yes, we were there before that
9?
actually.
Yeah,
we
but
were
I'm
there
saying-
at 8:30.
I guess I'm just counting the walking. I'm just talking steps.
Okay.
From the minute we walked in the gate to when we left, we'll just
At,
say
like,
10.
10:30.
Yeah, whatever. And now we walked 11 miles.
Yes.
But you can walk 11 miles at say Magic Kingdom.
I could do that
and
halfway through the
still
day.
not see everything.
Yes, and at Epcot, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
But
yeah.
here,
'Cause
that
we
was
doubled
11
that.
miles of
Yeah.
crisscross,
Yes.
because we
We did it based on weight.
wait
And that's the
times.
thing. That's the other thing that people complain about is they will sit there and they'll write and they'll be like, oh, I like paid all this money and like wanted to ride the Harry Potter ride, Ministry of Magic, and blah, blah, blah. And that was the only thing that we got to ride. And we waited 6 hours for it and blah, 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 blah. This park is terrible. I didn't get to do anything. I didn't get anything done. And it's just like, those complaints are so dumb because it's like, you're just not planning out your day or doing anything correctly.
Yeah.
Because we went and it's like, yeah, when the park, if you try and rope drop Ministry of Magic, the longest
Which is the Harry Potter
line,
ride.
yes, that is the longest line and the longest, like the point in the day when it has the longest line is right when the park opens. Right when the park opened, it had over a 2-hour wait. The rest of the day, it never had over a 2-hour wait.
We got on at one point and it was a 10-minute wait.
Yes, I was going to say, I don't know, that was crazy because that is very like...
That's not normal.
That is not normal. But, and even like the team members, when we were getting in line, I was getting a picture of it because I was like, 10 minutes, that's crazy. And they were like, go ahead and get in line now because this is never going to happen again. They were like, it is never going to be this low again. No one knew why it was like that. But people just aren't like strategizing their day. And also like that ride, if you just like look up anything, that ride goes down quite a bit because there's a lot happening in the ride. Like they have a lot of technical issues. Yeah. And so it goes down quite a bit. And so instead of like knowing that, people, I guess, just like don't leave the line. And then that leads to them like waiting hours and hours and hours. And it's like, if it goes down, just come back to it later because like it's,
well, when we
come back
went,
up.
the Monsters ride was what we rope dropped, and it was down. And so we immediately
So
left
then we did
and went to Werewolf.
And then we came
To
back
your
to
point,
Monsters.
because we talked about for a minute, like, do we stand here and wait? And we're like, no, we have to utilize our time.
And it was the same thing with us and Donkey Kong because we went to Nintendo. Originally, we were going to rope drop Donkey Kong. I didn't realize that Donkey Kong doesn't open until 10 when the park opens because we had early entry because we stayed at a hotel. So
A Universal Hotel.
yes, a Universal Hotel. And so
Not just sleeping in our car.
well, yeah. But we had a Universal Hotel. So then we had early entry, which is why we could get into the park at 9. And so I didn't remember that Donkey Kong didn't open till 10. So then we went and we did Mario Kart instead, which me and Mom didn't ride when we went previously because that one, normally the 3 longest lines at the park is Ministry of Magic, Donkey Kong, and Mario Kart. And so then and then Hiccups is normally up there as well. Hiccups Wing Gliders. And so for like longer waits. And so I was like, so we didn't ride Mario Kart. Me and Mom didn't when we
I
went.
haven't read that.
And so I was like, oh, we can do Mario Kart. So I was like, oh, well, Dad's going to want to do all this stuff in Nintendo. So I was like, let's rope drop Mario Kart. We went and it said that it already at 9:00 said that it was over an hour wait, but we did single rider. We walked immediately on. We did not wait at all. Like we literally like just straight through the gate immediately got on, which was like perfect. And then we went and I told Dad, I was like, Dad, we need to go do Yoshi now. Cause for whatever reason, that line also gets super long, like later in the day. Like I was like, I could not tell you why, but it gets very long. So then we went and did Yoshi again, walked right on. And sure enough, later in the day, there was points where Yoshi had a longer line than Ministry of Magic.
And that's like a kid's ride. It's like a
And I
little
think
kid's
that's
ride.
why that one is so
Because they don't
lengthy.
have as
They don't
many
have as many.
That's true.
kids.
They
And so
don't
you've got
have
a
really-
limited
yeah.
number of
And
It's
as a-
pretty much all of like the How to Train Your Dragon stuff, and then just
That's it. Yeah.
Yoshi.
Which
And
is why I think those lines get long in those
Yeah.
places.
And out of the
Yeah.
4 lands of Epic, Mario was the most crowded.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that's where the families are. That's where you see the most smaller kids, all of that, which it should be. It's
yeah,
phenomenal.
that makes sense.
And so that's why, I mean, those were the longest lines of the day. But,
And like one of the other things with Super Nintendo World that like I kept telling Dad, this was one of my favorite parts of the whole day. But one of the other things that I think that it has going for it is they have these power-up bands that you can buy. And so I got one for me before I went to Epic for my birthday. And I also I got one for Dad for Father's Day because I knew that we were going when I moved out. So I was like, oh, I need to get one for Dad.
And I was to highlight again, you're the only person in the whole family to give me anything for Father's Day. So thank you, honey.
Okay. Anyway, keep going.
So, and I wasn't even in the state.
Let's beat a dead horse. Okay.
I wasn't even in the state. But, yeah. And so I got these power-up bands. And when we went for my birthday, my friend Jackie is the only one that also had a power-up band. So we didn't really, like, use them that much because, like, none of our other friends had them. So then it was like, well, I'm not going to drag you along to watch me, like, use this band. And so, but I got them for me and Dad for when we go because I was like, I feel like he'll really enjoy it. And I was like, I feel like I'll also really enjoy it. So then we went, and it's like so cool. You can run around and like collect different things. You can punch like the power up boxes just like in like the game. And then they have all these like mini games spread throughout the park where like, or throughout like the section of the park where like you're having to do different things to like earn keys. And once you earn the 3 keys from like beating these mini games, then you can go into this secret like little lair. It's Bowser Jr.'s lair. And you have to scan in and it takes your keys that you had like collected. And then you go and you wait. And you go into this other little room and you and other people go in that have also collected the keys. You guys all go in and you get to fight Bowser Jr. And it was so fun. Like that was like literally so much fun. And so like I feel like there's even stuff like that where like
what a brilliant marketing plan.
Yeah, it is.
Like they're trying to push these bands on you, right? And if it was just busting blocks or playing mini games,
because you can like collect stamps for doing that.
You know, that would be fun. I don't know if adults would do it, you know.
Yeah.
But if there's one thing we know about just people in general, most people are like Beth and have FOMO.
Yeah, so if you make something exclusive,
and yes,
that
if
you can only get a certain
this
way.
exclusive club that you can only get into this attraction if you have, you know, if you've done ABC, XYZ, that's going to make people, wow,
like
I want
it's
the band.
not
I
even,
want to
I
go
was going
do
to say,
it.
because it's not even just like, and I think that just like adds to the immersion of that world. Because like, it's literally, it's like a real like video game. Because it's not like, oh, I just buy the band and I can get in. No, you have to buy the band, collect the things,
level up,
and,
essentially.
You have to go and play all the mini games and win all of the mini games. And then you collect all of your keys and then you can get in. Like, it's not just like it's not just like a pay and you get in. Like, you still have to do the stuff. And so, like, and then also then just like having like different areas, like they even in the lines for the attractions have like spots where you can tap your band to collect little like stamps for your app, like where like you can do stuff like that. Like they have just stuff all throughout the park to make it feel like it's like a big game.
And I like parks that aren't, I mean, I like the rides, but to your point, if you go to a park and a ride is the primary thing and then that ride's broken down, if you don't have anything else, you don't feel like you were immersed or did anything. But I liked here, like the shows. I didn't get to see the Harry Potter show like you guys did, but the How to Train Your Dragon show, we met Toothless. Like there were these other little things. Even the food, the way they fixed the food was very immersive and in the theme of things. So I think that helped too, because if you had someone, like I think back to when we would travel to the parks and maybe Josh was the youngest, so he wasn't tall enough. You know, there would still be fun things to go do with him, which is one of the things going back. Disney has that because Disney is so focused. They have so many rides for little kids. It's a very family-centric
But
the Universal ones have not had as many of those. And so I think for this, that's kind of cool because it just gives you other things to do and be immersed in.
And I think that's like one of the other things that like is, me and Dad were talking about this too, which is kind of interesting. But they definitely like made Isle of Berk, which is like the How to Train Your Dragon area. It has a lot of like, all those rides are kid rides. Like, and like that area I feel like is very like, that's like the only section that has like a real like playground and like stuff like that. And so I think it's interesting though that they did make that geared towards kids, because I feel like kids nowadays, maybe with the live action, but I feel like that's
they don't really know that.
That's very much more like my generation.
Yeah.
Like I saw the most kids in the Nintendo area, and then I saw in Isle of Burke, it was mostly people my age.
Yeah.
Like,
A bunch of 20-year-olds.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, and like, if you look in the line of who's meeting Toothless, it's a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Right.
But if you look in line for who's meeting Princess Peach, it's a bunch of little kids.
And me and you.
And yes. And so, I think that was like interesting too. But I think that like, I just think like the immersion of each different world, it truly does. Like when you go through that portal, it feels like you are in a different world for each one of these parks. It is so immersive and so good. And I think like, I just have to brag on like Dark Universe, because Dark Universe is my favorite section of the park. Like
That's the monsters area.
Yes, that's the Universal Monsters area. That is like, it is incredible. They have so many. They have roaming characters. They have, like we went for my birthday, like they have Invisible Man. They have Igor.
How'd you see him?
They have, okay. They have,
I saw him when we were there.
okay,
No,
yeah,
you
I'm
did.
sure you
Yes,
did.
uh-huh.
And then they have like the Burning Blade, like is really cool. And then they have like all the themed food, and you can meet like Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein.
And
like,
those characters are very, very good.
they are really good.
The
like
people, the
literally, that
actors
was,
and
oh my
actresses.
gosh. Like if you watch any video of Igor, he is so funny. Also, if you watch any video of Invisible Man, he's constantly yelling at people. That was like one of the highlights of my birthday, was getting yelled at by Invisible Man. Like that was awesome. And then like, it's just like, oh my god.
Well, I'll just hide behind the couch and yell at you.
Oh, okay. That
The
will be
Invisible Dad.
nice.
Hey, I haven't told Mom this either. The ride that you tilt on. Went at a dragon ride, and then I ended up doing the barrel roll.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was awesome. We did, so, okay, when me and Mom didn't do this because, so there's this ride, it's Dragon Racers Rally, and it's over in Isle of Burke. That was the one that so for my
When we were
birthday,
waiting for Toothless?
me, my mom, and Jackie, we were all waiting in line to meet Toothless because that was one of my must-dos. I regret nothing. That was like still like one of the highlights of my life. I waited like 80 minutes in the direct sun, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Wait a minute, can we talk about me? That was not the highlight of my life because I barely remembered who Toothless was. But I did
You
it
should
with
have just
you.
left her.
No, I did it with her because I love her, and it
You
was her
could've,
birthday, and I
'cause
wanted to be
Two
an
of our that
experience.
was the point where a few of us we separated because me and Jackie knew that we both wanted to meet Toothless, but we knew it was going to be a long line, and we were like, Riley and Aria do not care about How to Train a Dragon, so we were like, we can split while we're in line for this. Y'all can go, like, you know, whatever. I think they watched the Harry Potter show, and then they went and they rode Dragon Racers Rally. So that's why they rode it. We didn't. So when I went back with Dad, we were like, oh, well, let's just do it because, like, we haven't done it and whatever. Well, we were in line, and there was all these people that, like, on the ride, they were getting really close to being able to do, like, barrel roll, like, where you spin all the way around.
Because it looks like a dragon. You put you're sitting in a seat. You have one hand on one wing, one on the other, and you can move the wings like forward, backwards, up, down, something like that.
Yes.
And it rocks you.
Mhm.
So you're rocking back and
And
forth.
the whole thing is spinning, like, up in the air and then back down.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And so we were on there, and it looks like people are getting close to flipping. And so then we were like, oh, like, we were in line, and we were like, okay, now our new goal is going to be to do a flip. So I started looking up stuff on it, like how to do a flip on Dragon Racers Rally. Well, there's all these TikToks about it, and everybody on there is like, it's notoriously known for being like one of the hardest rides to do a barrel roll on because
Only the highest skilled and magnetic.
It said-
no,
personalities.
it literally was saying it was like 95% of people can't do it or something like that because it's a 20-second ride. It's super
That's the
short.
problem.
Right.
You don't have
So
enough
you don't
time.
have time to build momentum
Yeah.
to do it. And so then like that's what makes it so hard. And so there's all these videos of people like trying to do it. Eventually they get it, whatever. And like whatever. And so we were like studying, like we were in line, like reading everything about it, like figuring out, we were watching people that were getting close and seeing what they were doing, like to figure out how
We never
we
saw
needed to
anybody do it.
We didn't. We saw people get close, but not completely.
They would get upside down, but they couldn't make
They
it
would
on
like,
the way.
and they would be like hanging upside down,
Oh,
and
that
then they
doesn't
would
sound
flip
good.
back the other
Yeah.
way. And so that's what happened to me. I was on it. I got very close. I was hanging upside down for a good bit. And then I never flipped all the way over. I flipped back the way I came. So I didn't ever do a full 360. But then Dad, I was on the ride because we were both trying to do it. And Dad was able to get it on his like first try, which was crazy. Like, that was awesome.
So magnetic personality, and you're in the 5% that can flip
It's
the
technically, I'm going to correct Maria. It said 99% of people
my bad.
can't do it.
1%.
Yes.
Okay.
My
You're
So
bad.
in the,
I can
you're
barrel,
1%er.
I can barrel roll the rally racers or whatever, and I have a fan club. So it was a good day.
Well, the other thing, this is a totally random thing that I liked about Universal. I like number one that they have the soda machines that you can go up.
Yes.
I'll let you talk about the soda, but even just refilling the water, because at some parks you literally have to go ask for these small cups of water, and then I have to fill up my water bottle. And these are all in Florida, so it's 1,000,000 degrees. And there I'm like that I can go get my ice and my water, but they have a cup. And usually I don't think these deals are good deals, like usually, but this one actually is.
So basically, what it is, and this is not just.
And then we're going to end the epic talk.
Okay.
But
again,
I was going to say, I don't even know that we have time to talk about our job.
we'll
may
get
just have
there.
to talk about
This,
okay. Really fast.
This is the last thing.
Basically, I still have more I want to talk about.
This is not just an epic thing. This is at all of Universal. You can go and get these Coca-Cola Freestyle refillable cups. And so when you buy it the first time, I want to say it's like $28 or something like that. And it comes already loaded. So you get unlimited refills until like 1 a.m. that night. And they have these Coca-Cola Freestyle machines all around all of their parks. Like, they're literally everywhere. At every restaurant, literally everywhere. And so, and then when you go back like the next day, you can pay and have it recharged for like $12 or something like that. And so I got one last summer, and then I got the Epic one because I wanted the Epic Universal one. But anyways, that is one thing that whenever I go to Universal, I will immediately splurge, and just like immediately when I get there, I will recharge my cup and pay for it, because it's exhausting being at the parks all day. So like, you need some caffeine, but like, yeah. And so like, but we literally refilled it all the time, like me and Deli, because you can share, obviously. And so, yeah, but it's like easiest $11 spent, because like a single soda is like $6 or something. Because there was even one point in the day.
2 drinks you paid for it.
Yes, because there was one point in the day where Dad was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy like a Coke or something," and I was like, "No, just wait for me to refill my cup, and then like I'll fill it up with Coke for you or something." Because I was like, because there's no point in you buying a separate one, because I was like, it's gonna literally cost half of what it's gonna cost for me to like refill my cup.
And then they had the different drinks in each land.
Yes.
But what Dad didn't want to talk about this, but anyway, yeah, we do have
what's special about the Epic area is the different lands. They're apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently they're making one for the Super Nintendo area. But right now for Dark Universe, Isle of Berk, and then Celestial Park, which is like their center area, that's kind of like just like the Epic Universe theming. They have different drinks, like different sodas for each of those. And so then that makes it so much fun, because that was one of the things that like me and my friend Jackie were so excited about when we went to Epic. We were like, I want to try all the sodas. And so like they're different like little themed sodas for each area. And they had I don't remember what all of them were called. I remember the Celestial Park one's called Celestial Spritz. The Isle of Berk, How to Train Your Dragon one, I think was like Dragon Blast. And then
They should do Princess Peach Tea.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be good.
Trademark.
And then I want to say,
sure no one thought of that besides you.
I want to say the Monsters one was, what was Dark Universe?
Monster Energy Drink. Sorry
No,
to take
it was not. It was like Scary Berry or something like that. I don't remember, but that one was my favorite. That one's my favorite drink out of all of them. But yeah, so then that part's, it's really fun. Yeah.
So what up, Mike? You said you got other things you really want to talk about.
Well, it is my birthday episode.
I know, so let's do it. Let's talk about what you want to talk about. I don't think we're going to have time to interview the kids.
We'll interview Maria. Maybe we'll do a separate one with Jacob before he heads back, and we'll just make it a part 2, and we'll drop it later.
Well, but should we do the interview with Maria and Jacob in the part 2, or?
Nah, we got Maria here.
Okay.
I don't want to waste her time later. Is that right, Maria?
Sure.
You got things to do.
That's true. I'm a busy woman.
Yes, you are.
Just like Sabrina Carpenter says.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know who that is. But
Okay. Anyway.
But I have learned, another thing I learned is who Chapel Roan is. Is that her name?
Yes.
Okay, Maria was talking about her. You are so behind the times. in Maryland at work camp
Last
2
year?
years ago. Yes. Maria was listening to her and telling me her backstory. Yes.
I have been
obsessed.
I love Chapel. I didn't get introduced to her till a little bit later on. I got introduced to her when she was touring with Olivia Rodrigo. So I first started really listening to her in March of last year, I think, February of last year, something like that.
So she was really into it by June when we were at work.
Yes.
Yes.
She was my most streamed artist. My top 2 songs of the year last year, most streamed songs, were both Chapel Roan songs.
Pink Pony Club?
That one was in there. That was one of the 2.
Well, Dad is now totally...
That's the only song I know by her, only because of the Chit videos. Because Chit's obsessed with Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
As he should be.
As he should be.
As he should be.
So, Pink Pony Club. So, I learned that. That was
Yes.
kind of a side.
This is the way. So Dad used to only get his music if they played it in Kohl's or at the YMCA during the exercise classes. Now you get your music from Chit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So Maria and I leave Epic. We get up the next morning. We were going to drive all the way home and on Monday, but I was too tired.
I needed to go to Universal Studios Park to say goodbye to my beloved Rip Ride Rocket.
Which
The
I rode
worst
one
ride.
and done and hate that
I
ride.
love that
I
ride.
can't
awful.
stand it.
Mom
jerks
and
you
Dad,
around.
a lot
It's
of people
terrible.
hate it because it's very jerky, but
Yes.
it is. I love that ride because you know what? You get to pick your song, and that ride gave me the opportunity to listen to an ABBA song while I'm on a roller coaster. That is my 2 favorite things on this planet is ABBA and roller coasters.
Well, it'll throw your back out, and then you can't ride anything else all day.
And then you can also listen to multiple Muppet songs. You can listen to Billy Joel. You can listen to Fleetwood Mac. It is literally all of my favorite things on a roller coaster.
Except the roller coaster itself.
I love the coaster. I think it's very fun. So I had to go that morning. And Dad was tired, and I was like, I'm rope dropping Universal.
I think it had nothing to do with Dad being tired.
It's not.
I wasn't going to pay $100 to go ride one ride.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying I was just saying.
You're making me sound like some old feeble man.
Well, you are 51 today.
That's true.
Anyway.
But yeah, I went and I was able to hop on Rip Ride 4 times in a row. So that was awesome. And I got my little Universal Annual Pass holder button. That was the new one for the month because it was Dark Universe. And I got some donuts on the way out. And
then what did y'all do?
And
Hit the road.
Then we hit the road. We stopped by some comic book stores on the way, and we ended up in Savannah.
In that nice hotel that I got that you
It was a very
on.
nice hotel that Beth had points for, so we were able to stay right on the river in historic downtown. It was a haunted hotel, we found out later.
yes, we did.
But it was cool. It was a neat old town.
Well, they didn't disclose that on the website, and it wasn't in the TripAdvisor review, so I apologize. Anyway.
So we got down there in time. We decided to do a ghost tour.
Because I've never done one.
Yeah, so they had a ghost trolley tour that would drive you around town, past graveyards and historic buildings, and give you the lowdown, all the ghosts in Savannah. And then we stopped at a museum and then another place. If you've ever been to Universal's Horror Nights, it's similar to that.
No, it is not.
Oh, I can't wait.
But yeah, so we got to go to those 2. So it was an hour and a half tour, and it was fun.
It was very fun.
We did that in Savannah, and then we went and ate dinner afterwards. Anything you want to add about the tour? What were some highlights for you?
Well, me and Dad were kind of just messing around the whole tour. We were cracking jokes, per usual. And then
The tour guide didn't like us.
probably not.
I felt bad, so I gave her a tip.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny.
Him a tip.
But we went to this area, and it was the second stop or whatever. And then our tour guide got off, and he was like, yeah, this is where y'all are gonna go, and it's gonna be this museum and whatever, and there's all these antiques from the ocean and blah blah, whatever. And so then
we got to say bye to Beth right now.
Oh, sorry. I have to go pick up Josh. It's part of my birthday gift to Mike. Right now, the second or third day of school, and the traffic is whew, something else. Anyway, y'all keep going and have fun.
All right.
Yes.
But yeah, basically our tour guide was explaining, he was like, yeah, there's gonna be all these like antiques, whatever. And I was like, okay. So like they made it like literally like they were making it seem like he was like basically explaining it to be like this museum or something. Cause like the place that we were just at was like this old house that we walked through. So I thought it was gonna be something like that. So we go into this dark room and me and Dad are like the first ones in. And so then, like it was like this really dark room. And there was like this little like countertop thing or whatever, and my dad was like, oh, Maria, like go like hide behind like that thing and jump out and scare these people. And I was like,
Well, I was thinking kids. I said scared the kids because there was a couple of little kids on it.
yes. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely.
I didn't think you would really do it.
So I went and obviously got down and I was like, okay, but you got to tell me when I got to jump out. So then I was hiding behind there, and there was this couple that walked in, and Dad was saying that basically, like, the wife was like, I am not going in there, like, that is scary, it's a dark room, and the husband was, like, already trying to have him to, like, talk her into it and be like, no, like, it's fine, it's part of the tour, like, it's fine, and she was already, like, super scared to go in there, so then Dad was, like, changed his mind and was like, oh no, like this is who Maria needs to scare. So then right when they walked in, he cued me and I like jumped out and like yelled or whatever and I scared them. And he said that she was like terrified, but it was also like, it was like a 2-for-1 because there was also like a mom and her daughter walking in right behind them. So then I got the mom, the little kid, and the like wife all on like the
That
same
woman was
scare.
scared to death. She screamed and jumped and she was like, ah!
And then literally later on, the mom and daughter, the daughter was so scared. She was over here like this is like later on, like in that room or whatever. Like the kid was like covering her eyes and like freaking out. And then at the end when we left, they ended up just telling the tour guide, yeah, our hotel is close to here, so we're actually just gonna leave here.
Yeah, they bounced.
The kid was just too scared. But yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah. It was a good tour. It was fun. Good to hear some ghost stories and, be part of the Savannah lore.
Yes.
Like the ghost kid on the bicycle.
Yes.
Or the kid with blue lips.
Yes.
Yes. Lots of scary stuff happened
There
then.
was, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, Beth just had to leave to go pick up Josh. So Maria and I'll just wrap up this episode. Here's what I think we're going to do, Maria. We're going to finish up this little episode here. And then we're going to come back and record an interview with you, a short one. And then we'll record one with Jacob. And we'll do something special with those two.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you've heard this story, I know. But I feel like I need to tell it. The story of the new traffic patterns at high school.
Oh, goodness.
So Maria had a teacher in high school that very graciously, we'll just say, she showed Maria a lot of grace in school. It was during the COVID years.
I'll give a 50-foot flyover. Basically, during COVID, I had to take chemistry and like over Zoom. And I am not a science and math girly. Like, I literally am in art school. That is not for me. I did not get any of mom's, like, chemistry smarts, like, passed down to me. That is not me. So I was struggling, and it was over Zoom. So I already was, like, even more confused and just, like, whatever. So I was, like, awful in this class. Like, it was so hard, and I would go to tutoring, like, literally, like, at least once a week with my teacher, like, all this stuff, because, like, I was just, like, and mom tried to help me, but, like, I just was not getting it. And so then, because I had, like, I just didn't have a good enough grade, and I had missed however many classes, I did not get exempt from the final exam. And so only a few of us had to take the final exam because everyone else got exempt. I was not one of the people that got exempt. And so I had to take the final exam, and we had to take it over Zoom. And when we finished with the exam, we had to let her know and whatever. So I finished the exam, and I saw that I got like I did really bad on the final. Like, I want to say I got like a 20% or something. And whatever it was, I did the math and it was going to cause me to fail the class. Like, I had done so bad on the exam, even though I was not failing the class, the exam grade was so bad, it was going to drag my grade down enough to where I would fail the class. So I started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never failed a class before. And now I'm going to have to retake chemistry. And this was like the hardest class ever. And like, I literally was like working so hard. So then I think that my teacher just like felt bad for me because I was sitting there crying on the Zoom call because like whatever. So then she was like, I'm not going to let you fail this course. Like, it's okay. Like, I know that you've been trying, you've been coming to tutoring, blah, blah. And she curved my grade so I didn't fail the class. So she was very, very nice.
Yes. So I feel bad a little bit over what happened yesterday. I got into an altercation with this teacher. Now she's the vice principal. I've never gotten into any type of like back and forth with any teacher or administrator in all of my kids' years of going to school. And it was not on my bingo sheet for this year either. But our school system sucks. They mismanaged some money, best case scenario. And our school system is now $45 million in debt. Because of this, they've had to fire or let go a bunch of people. One group of people that they've let go is the traffic folks. And so, as you can imagine, in front of every school, if there's not somebody helping direct traffic, it can be chaos, especially the first couple of weeks of school. So they have teachers out there trying to direct traffic. So the administration or whoever, the district, I don't know who it is, decided that when you're leaving this high school, to make it easier on the traffic flow and easier on the teachers, everybody needs to turn right out of it. Well, that might be fine for some people, but it's not fine for us. Because what way do we have to turn, Maria?
We have to turn left.
We have to turn left to go toward where we live. And so to turn right would add miles and minutes and just...
And not just us. Anyone that lives in Walkertown or Kernersville would have to turn left.
Yes, anybody that lives on that side of the county would have to turn left. There's just no way around it. And so, they have other traffic things that they've put in place, and I don't love it, but I've dealt with it. But I'll be darned if I'm going to turn right, especially when I have to turn left. So yesterday I'm leaving the school. This teacher who Maria's talking about was up at the road, standing right at the entrance or the exit where we're leaving, waving everybody to turn right. So I just pulled out, went around her and turned left. And she lost it. She was waving her arms at me and yelling at me. And so be it. So I came home and I was like, I don't want her to think I'm just totally disrespectful. So I emailed her and the other administration at the school and said, look, I get there's a lot of changes. I know that Winston-Salem, Forsyth County Schools is in a tough situation. But having me turn left and having me turn right and not left is not going to work for me. Here's why. And I explained why. Well, then she wrote me back and said, well, this is why you have to. So then I wrote her back and said, basically, over my dead body will I turn right. Like, if you want me to turn left, get a cop out there and make me turn right. But otherwise, I'm turning left. So I say all that to say, Beth is now going to go get Josh. Beth she's a bit more of a rule follower, don't you think, Maria?
Yes.
She doesn't have that, what do you call it? Authority, opposition, something disorder like I think I have. So I guarantee you, what do you think mom's going to do? Turn left or right?
She's out of that? Turn right.
You think she'll turn right?
Yes.
And then where you think she's going to end up?
She's going to turn left where they're telling her to turn left after that.
Maybe.
She's going to do it.
Or she's going to end up in downtown Winston.
Yeah.
And she's going to come home and be like, I had to go around this way or I got stuck in this traffic or something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I say all that. I just tell you that story just to say this is a cliffhanger. Because when we start the podcast back up for part 2, where we get to hear Maria talk about her summer job at Disney, We will find out then, did Beth turn left or right? I'm saying she turns right. Maria, you think she's going to turn right?
Mhm.
We think Beth is a bit of a rule follower, because she was even asking me what car I drove yesterday because she didn't even want to be seen in that car.
Yeah.
So anyhow, well, Maria, good to have you home.
Yeah.
What? What's the matter?
I'm not gonna say it's good to be home, but
Look at all the fun times you're getting to have with Dad and Mom and Josh and Jacob.
I'm happy to see y'all, but
And I want to say publicly on the podcast, thank you for the 51 balloons.
yeah, you're welcome.
They're not 51 balloons, but there's a giant 5 and a giant 1 hanging up
And
in
those
our
little-
kitchen. And some little things hanging up over the mantle of the fireplace. And the happy birthday outside
Yeah.
is hurting a little bit.
It got messed up last night.
Yeah, the dew kind of made the paper kind of floppy.
Yeah.
And but it was good while it lasted.
Thanks.
But thank you for recognizing my birthday.
of course.
What'd you give me?
Well, I saw part of it for you to open today.
Really? I thought there was only one part.
Well, the main part, that's the thing. This one's just a little something.
Okay.
The main thing that I gave him, I got us like matching shirts to wear when we went to Epic Universe.
Yes.
So
What kind of shirts were they? You can describe
they
it.
were Mario Kart. So mine was like a little like peach inspired one, and it was pink and had like her crown on it. And then it says like Mario Kart, and it has like the Universal thing on the side. And then Dad's was yellow, and it had one of the stars in the middle. And yeah, so I got us those to wear. And then I had something else little, but I was like, I need to decorate because for my birthday this year, my friends were all my friends were very, very sweet. And my best friend, Alex, who I lived with this summer, she like got me some balloons and like decorated my room and stuff and made it all cute. Like, so that then when I got, back from like work before my birthday, like I like walked in my room, was like all decorated and really cute. And she had like big balloons up and stuff. And it made me feel very loved and appreciated. And then the following night when it was like the day before my birthday and we were checking into the hotel, I had work until late that night. So then everyone else had already been at the hotel. And then to avoid having to like bring a bunch of cars to the hotel, we were all going to ride together. So Aria, my friend, came and picked me up, and Riley met us and like walked us to our room or whatever. And so then when we were walking in, they were like, wait, let's wait, because it was almost midnight. So they were like, well, let's wait until midnight so then you can walk in right at midnight. And I was like, in my head, like, and I even told this, I was like, well, I don't want to be loud because like I don't want to wake up my mom. Like she'll probably like be asleep and whatever. And they're like, no, like it'll be fine. And I was like, okay. So then I walked in and they had also like decorated like that whole room and did all these balloons and had like cupcakes for me and like all these presents, and like my mom and Jackie were there like videoing and all excited and stuff. So it was like really cute. So then I was like, I need to decorate for Dad's birthday, because that, even though it was just like some balloons and decorations, it made me feel very, very loved. And so then I was like, I need to do that for Dad.
Yeah, and
overnight.
So when I got up this morning, Maria jumped out and was like, "Happy birthday, Dad."
I didn't do all that, but I did decorate.
That was too early for you?
It was a little bit too early.
It was nice decorations.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today on this first podcast of you ever being on it with us.
Yeah.
So Josh has been on it for an episode. Now you're on it. We're going to come back for part 2, which will be hearing a little bit about your Disney life on the Disney College program, working in Star Wars land.
Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, yeah.
The planet of Batu.
The planet of Batu.
Yeah, Batu.
Oh, okay. All right. Wow. Well, thank you for being an epically awesome daughter and sharing your thoughts on the Epic Universe with us.
Yes, of
I
course.
wasn't planning on this being an Epic Universe centric episode, but who knows? Some people may listen that you may change their entire vacation plans.
Yes, I hope I do. And you know what? If anyone from Universal is listening, please let me be a spokesperson and give me free tickets.
Or at least an intern.
Yes, please.
You're a film school production design student at one of the top colleges in the country. You've been in the Disney College program twice. You are Universal material.
Yes, I love your parks, and I really want to intern for you and be a part of Universal Creative. That would be really cool. I know that internship applications open next month, and I really hope I don't get rejected from all of them again this year.
We're going to send them this podcast.
Please. Yes.
All right. All right. Hey, thanks a lot. And we'll be back with part 2 later.